discovered a lot of terrible things that were happening to millions and millions of animals every day. And on the other hand, I saw there was something I could do to help. The something was giving up meat. I mean, I didn't even doubt. In a moment, I realised it was the right thing. So, from the very beginning, I knew there was no possible way to stop eating meat without my parents knowing. Gathering at the table for dinner every evening is never in question. I know keeping a thing like this secret sounds absurd, but you should know my family. What do you mean, give up meat? Was the first thing my mum said when I tried to talk to her. That was the moment I knew it would work out. She interrupted my explanation and just didn't want to listen. She said that only meat contains proteins and vitamins that are necessary for every human, and especially for a teenager like me. I didn't know what to answer. But I had science on my side. I'd spent the following night doing research on proteins, vitamins, and a healthy vegetarian diet. At 2 a.m, I was ready to write a book on why giving up meat when you're 14 is totally okay. The following morning, I overslept and skipped breakfast, and spent the whole day at school going through my powerful monologue. I was going to choose a moment when I'd come back home and talk to my mum, because I didn't even hope for my dad or my grandparents to understand. But when I came home, I saw that my grandparents were there too. And the first question my grandma asked me was, "Did you really say you want to stop eating meat?" Sounding like I had lost my mind or something. I was so confused. First of all, at that moment, I thought that my mum called them because of our conversation, which was not true. And secondly, my whole plan to talk in private had fallen apart. Then my dad came home, and he also seemed to know everything. 5 of us sat down to have dinner, with all kinds of meat on the table, of course. I tried to eat something else and leave as quiet as possible, but all the eyes were on me. Now it sounds savage to me, but I knew I wouldn't be able to leave the table without at least trying the meat. It was all pressure. So I cut a tiny piece. I put it in my mouth. And I realised that I just couldn't do this. I spat it out and started crying and ran to my room immediately. But things didn't really change that night. For a while, my parents would pretend they just didn't notice I didn't eat any meat at dinner. But of course, I could see their disapproval. It was all quite hard for me, but going back was not an option for me anymore. Once my mum saw me really sad in my room after dinner, and she sat down to talk. I think she realised it was really important for me. Now I see her attitude is changing. A couple of times she would even ask me stuff about a vegetarian diet. I think she's getting more and more interested. And now we always have something for me at our table, like beans, for example. And my mum seems to be excited about the new recipes. Of course, my dad and my grandparents didn't change their opinion that fast. My grandma's given me a hard time every time we meet with her lectures about how I'll lose all my health. But I'm trying to be patient with her. Someday she'll understand that I know what I'm doing, and it's just my choice. And did you make any choices your family didn't understand? Please.
I got you, bro!
Hey, my name is Emily, and I want to tell you how I saved a dog from death. One winter day, I was going home after meeting with my friends. There was an abandoned building on my way home, and my parents forbade me going there or even close to it. But, it was a faster way to get home. I was passing it, and suddenly I heard weird sounds, like someone weeping. I looked into the basement window of the house, and there was a small puppy. I didn't know how it had got there and why it was alone. Maybe someone cruel threw it out there. I didn't know what to do, but I couldn't just leave her alone there, cold and hungry. I immediately called my father and told him about the puppy and asked if I could take her home. My dad said no, and I tried to persuade him by saying that I couldn't just leave her there, but he kept saying no. I still couldn't leave the puppy alone, so I went down to the basement. The puppy was small and helpless, crying silently. but she was also scared of me and tried to get away. But I easily caught her and tucked her under my jacket. She was shivering from the cold, even there. I bought some food, water, and milk from the store and hurried home. Only, I had to come up with some idea to hide the puppy from my parents. Luckily, we had a small shed near our house, so I hid the puppy there, got home, waited until my parents went to sleep, and snuck out of the house with some blankets to keep her warm and bowls for water and milk. I tried to feed the puppy, but she was too scared to eat at first, so I left the food and went to sleep. Of course, I couldn't fall asleep during the night, worrying about the puppy. I checked on her in the morning when my parents went to work, and I was happy to see that she had eaten a bit and drank. I tried to pet her, and it made me so happy that the puppy was already trusting me a bit more. When I got a better look at her, it seemed to be a German Shepherd mixed with some other breed. By this time, I already fell in love with this cute little dog who was looking at me with her big round eyes. For the past few days, she got better and better. She wasn't sick or anything when I found her, just cold and hungry. Now she was eating a lot, running clumsily in the shed and barking. Now, that was a problem because my parents would find the puppy sooner or later, so I tried to ask all my friends if they wanted a dog. Everybody said yes, but also nobody's parents were willing to take her. I had to come up with something, or at least take her to the shelter. But I loved her so much already. I even bought her a first toy, a little squeaky frog. I couldn't even think of giving her away, but I had no choice. On the fourth day, I was leaving the shed as usual, and the puppy was barking with her cute voice. She hated when I was going away. It was scary for her to remain all alone in the darkness. When I was away, she continued to bark, and I knew that now my parents would notice her. And, well, they did. Dad caught me, and he is a strict man, and he had this menacing look on his face. "What's going on, Emily? What are those sounds?" I said, "I don't know." But, of course, my dad didn't believe me. "Where were you? Why are you sneaking out of the house in the middle of the night?" I was so scared of him at that moment, but I decided to tell the truth, that I still had taken the dog in. "Are you insane?" Dad said. "What if it is infected with something? And I told you that you were not allowed to take it in. Go and throw it out right now." I was just standing there, holding in my tears. "No," I said to him, and he was furious. He said, "Then I will do it myself." Went outside to the shed, opened the door, and saw this small little puppy looking at him with her big eyes and wiggling her tail. My dad was looking at it for 5 or 10 seconds with a surprised look in his eyes, not knowing what to do. I think in this moment, he felt the same way I did when I first saw her. He then took her in his hands and brought her home. He asked me, "Is it a boy or a girl?" I said I didn't know, and my dad said, "Okay, I guess we can keep it a little bit. Not forever, just until we find a good owner for it." 2 years passed since then, and our girl Scully, my dad loves X-Files, is now big and strong, and my dad loves her more than I do. He plays with her for hours. I still don't know what went through my father's head at the time, but I'm so happy that it turned out that way. What kind of pets do you have, or would you like to have?
Looks like it's now a pet for them.
Hey, my name is Emily, and I want to tell you how I saved a dog from death. One winter day, I was going home after meeting with my friends. There was an abandoned building on my way home, and my parents forbade me going there or even close to it. But, you know, it was a faster way to get home. I was passing it, and suddenly I heard weird sounds, like someone weeping. I looked into the basement window of the house, and there was a small puppy. I didn't know how it had got there and why it was alone. Maybe someone cruel threw it out there. I didn't know what to do, but I couldn't just leave her alone there, cold and hungry. I immediately called my father and told him about the puppy and asked if I could take her home. My dad said no, and I tried to persuade him by saying that I couldn't just leave her there, but he kept saying no.